My name's Jordan. You would know me in the Tekken scene as Montel Chilliams.
You don't gotta do me like that. Get your boy. I need help. Montel!
Let's fucking go. 2 weeks. I'm coming fighting back for the title of the leader of the Fake Moves team. First to 7.
First to 7.
Me, baby. Let's fucking go.
Baby Jason.
Two fucking clutches, bro. Somebody clip that, please.
Oh, what a fucking Montel!
Into my clutches. Jump versus King. Yeah, I'll do the other shit, bro. Alright, you can get up right away.
I'm from the western part of Massachusetts. I grew up mostly in Springfield. Pretty standard, I would say. Have a sister. Been pretty. I wouldn't say maybe boring would be the right term. It's not a lot of excitement, but like I've been pretty much growing up nerd lifestyle for about as much as I can remember. One of the first memories I have is my dad made a deal with me. If I could tie my shoes and count to 100, I'd be allowed to play duck hunt. I know I have a lot of memories of playing my dad in the arcades with Virtual Fighter 3 a lot, and so there was good memories on that. We got an OG Nintendo system when I was like around 5 or 6, I think, and the beginnings of the obsession happened, and then like right around when the N64 came out and Dad got that for us for Christmas, it was a wrap. It was over at that point. I was done. I was hooked. There's a Star Wars game called Shadows of the Empire that me and Sophie put just an ungodly amount of hours in, and Star Fox 64. We were big space people, so like that Star Fox 64 and the Mario 64 were like the big culprits. But also like it's not fighting games, but competitive based. There is a Olsen death feud in Mario Tennis that goes to this day, and I need you to come see me in Mario Tennis 64, the GameCube version, any of them. So like it was always in the background. I play Virtual Fighter with my dad, and that more meant I'd get to the like first 3 CPU opponents, and then he'd try and beat the third one after I'd lose, and then we'd leave the arcade. But back in the GameCube days, I had Soul Calibur 2, and I was like. I use the term basement king, in which I was the baddest motherfucker in my mom's basement. But it really started happening like my second year of college. I ran into the community college had like this. They called it the Radical Dreamers Gaming Club, and I met my like initial crew that got me into it there. And they showed me all like the foundational stuff. They showed me like the Evo Moment 37. They showed me like a Yipes Marvel commentary, and I was hooked. I was like, this is the coolest shit I've ever seen in my life. And we'd go to my friend Matt's house, and they had everything. They had like Marvel vs. Capcom. They had Capcom versus SNK. A lot of anime, like a lot of Guilty Gear and anime games, and they kind of brought me up through that.
So you said that you watched a lot of like the Yipes commentary. Is that what inspired you to become a commentator yourself?
No, actually, well, maybe not. No, it was not the initial spark. I'm a huge pro wrestling fan, and so I think that's more than anything else, because all my commentary, except for like somewhat recently, has been just spontaneous. I like the first time I ever did it was at a CT GamerCon, and they had it's funny there because back then it's not like it was now. They just had Tekken was in the side area, and there was just the commentary booth, and the guy that was running the stream just looked at me eyeing the booth and goes, "You want to go up?" And no one was doing it, so I decided to do it. And then like a couple people afterwards mentioned going, "You didn't say you were good at this. Where did this come from?" And I attribute it to watching a lot of pro wrestling and seeing just kind of imitating pro wrestling commentary, and then eventually I learned to put my own flair in. We had our own like separate stream on that, so I I think I went 0-2 in that tournament, if I remember correctly. So I was chilling in Mohegan for the most part, and then it was either winners. It wasn't top, it wasn't like the last match, but it was like one of the last three, and I was just like, well, the dude's asking, and it's just my friend from Rhode Island X was just there by himself, so might as well make it a 2-man, and then I decided to do it. 7 was my first Tekken. I think it was like 3 or 4 months after it first released. It's funny. Tekken was normally never on my radar. I was just never like. I had like the demo for the PS1 when it was just like Eddie Gordo, Nina, and I think Zhao Yu, and then I was always a Soul Calibur guy. And one of the older TOs for Tekken in Boston, his name's Zoob. I ran a D&D game with him. And we were lamenting, because this is before 6 was even on the radar, that I was never going to see another Soul Calibur game again. My fighting game career was done. And he just goes, well, Tekken's coming up in a couple months. And I looked for some footage to see what it looked like. I saw Tasty Steve do King's like running powerbomb ender in a combo. And like, this is the coolest shit I've ever seen in my life. Let's give it a shot. And here we are. There was nobody that I wanted to play more than him once I saw what he could do. Because he was a wrestling character, and that he has... I talked about this with my friend Kenny, who's the other like wrestling head in Western Mass. He's like the perfect love letter for pro wrestling in a fighting game format, at least for me. I think it was around September when the game came out. He's like, if you want to take this seriously, come here Saturday, go to BP. I remember he very intentionally made me play Still Electric, just to be like, hey, this guy's getting into Tekken, you should play the best guy, like the best guy here. I don't even think Nick was there at the time. And so that's where I met Vi, that's where I met... it was Still Electric and Vi are the two names that I really remember from that particular trip. But it was a while until I went back to BP after that. I spent a lot of time in Rhode Island in between. Like I think around 2018, 2019, that was me going to Providence when they still had a scene up there was where I mainly went to. But like the first year at Tekken, I did dabble a little bit with Boston, just because Zoob introduced me, and at the time it was there in Providence. They were the two places that were really playing Tekken, so it was really I loved it, because the first time I went there, it's a place called Common Grounds Games. It's just the group. I just found it on a random Facebook like FGC post, and they were renting out this little like Rhode Island College annex, like in this just random side building, and it was super grassroots. It was just a bunch of guys bringing monitors and setups. They ran like a Tekken 7 bracket and like a mystery game bracket. And I guess it was small in comparison to what we have now, but that's where I met, because he goes by Real Dad now. That's where I went Danny B. That's where I went Ghoul, Lord X. He's like a DOA player, but he dabbles on Tekken. And that's kind of where I really got my start with that crew. And Tim Sloth, or Mr. Sloth, is the first one that comes to mind, because he was the first like bracket demon or rival, however you want to put it, of just this guy's really good. Okay, but I knew immediately he'd make me better. And also I've likened that relationship to what if Ash Ketchum and Gary Oak smoked pot in the Pokemon Stadium parking lot before their fights. So there's some wholesomeness to there, but there also Tim plays toxic and I play toxic. So it's actually it's a nice meeting of the two of us. And Tudank as well, just because he has a lot of insights on how to play the game, and he's always up for talking about it. And I just know I grown a lot as a player, just hanging out with him and picking his brain and playing him. Those are the two that come to mind immediately. I'm in a lot of other like state discords, and word gets back to how maybe some people's egos are a little bit bigger or things like that. But I've never had anything like that come up here. Everyone's been, from the jump, everyone's just been super nice and accommodating, and just sure, interpersonal things happen, and some people get annoyed by other people or something like that, but there's never been a person I wouldn't want to hang out with here. There's never been anything that made me feel any sort of way. It's all just been cool people playing a video game that I like. That like to talk about it. That's what I like about here. It's definitely, compared to any other like competitive game, that when you like look at what the scene breaks down to, at least for America, it's a lot more diverse. There's a lot more.
I agree.
There's like, I am not the base template for your average player in the fighting game or Tekken community, which is not the case if you were to do like, I don't know, Dota or Counter-Strike or things like that. It's funny because like when you go to where my neck of the woods is and like the Western Mass part, I'm like maybe one of two straight guys in the entire building when we run locals. So it's fascinating on that end, and just also just, I don't know, makes me happy. There's like it's, I don't think practice what you preach is the right thing, but it's just that like it's undeniable that there is some thing that unifies everybody going to this. It's not either as discriminatory or discriminatory. Like everyone feels welcome to come down and throw down. Heat engagement example is Ilaria's brainchild. They pulled me because I am the guy that people know, right? Like I am like the Pied Piper that will like, play the flute and get everybody from Boston to come to drive an hour and a half to East Hampton. And I don't know. It was humbling to me that Carmen and Laria thought like I had enough pull to make it happen or to help make it happen. And it was also humbling it was also humbling that like, when I asked people to come out and like let them know that everyone did. And that it still blows my mind, honestly, a little bit, just because we, back there, we've only been doing it at that place for a year. Like we didn't have anything before this. So it's also just like holy shit, this is happening. We have this can be a thing. This is sustainable, baby. Oh my gosh. So I want to make it. I want to make sure that thing, like that, can be a thing that I can come back to next year or the year before, and just I want to make sure that it's healthy and alive, and I'm going to do whatever I can to make sure that happens. A little bit would be Henny or the bad guy, just because I remember like one of the last memories I had of him was, I think this is like a couple weeks before everything went down. He just randomly on a Sunday morning called me up on like Facebook video chat, and he was going over, because we're the Fake Moves team, and he was just going over like his vision for it. Like he's like going over art that he made for us, and just like how he wanted to be like, hey, I want to sponsor you. I'm like, nah, you don't got to sponsor me. He's like, no, like I'll throw you $20 for gas every once in a while, and that. I don't know. He had so much dedication for a fake, a funny thing for the boys to play Tekken, and that kind of, after he passed, like that kind of stuck with me a little bit. Of like, this is actually what it's about. This is what I like about this, is the fact that we can all get together for a crew, and we can do this with this fun game that we love. And V as well, actually, just because like I was there for I've been friends with her for a while, and just seeing her dedication to drive down to Boston when she was still TO and stuff every once in a while. She gave me rides, not like almost on like a monthly basis for a little bit, and I don't know, just when you see people put the blood, sweat, and tears to make the thing work, it makes it easier for me to put that kind of level of work into. Heat engagement's got to be number one, just because that had the most of me in that, and the fact that it was so successful, I really loved it. And then number two, like right behind it, was the block party that happened at BP. I think like the summer of the last year at Tekken, just because one, I hadn't been to like a Boston local in a long time since that, so there was. Like that's, I think, where I first ran into Bugatti and you. Of like, oh wow, there's like 13 new faces. Oh, this guy's pretty good at Tekken. Oh, look at that. So that was really fun, just because I got to see old friends and just see like a scene that I didn't realize also built up around Tekken 7 that kind of I got to meet new people again. That was probably the best one. Like my two observations from Boston Tekken both happened at the block party and at Heat Engagement, where I'm just listening to the VODs and going, these guys are so fucking loud. Holy shit. I think Henny for sure brought that to this. Yes, unquestionable. Just because, like, of the loud people before, you know, Malik really took the banner, it was him. It was him that made me laugh more than anybody else at any given local. And I don't know, man, he had like that, like, he's a little bit more rugged than that, but he had that golden Labrador Retriever energy of just like, I'm fucking love Tekken, let's get hyped, guys, yeah, that's like cool things are happening on the screen, yeah. Or like, I remember like, I was playing Mr. Sandwich, I won like a game, and I started like, you know, corpse kicking as I do, and I just hear Henny in the back going, is that DQ? Can we DQ this guy? And just like stuff like that. Just, I think he was a progenitor of it, and I think that there have been some of us taking up the banner after he left. There was one of my favorite clips from Heat Engagement is when I hit a rage art on John Hammer, and all you can hear is you going, "Let's fucking go! Let's fucking go!"
But it's like
No, listen, I appreciated it. Trust me. I used to have to drive an hour and a half on a Friday or a Sunday, depending on which time of year, like, you know, where in the calendar we were, to play any offline games. And now you pick a day of the week, Tekken 7's being run online somewhere in a Massachusetts venue. It's cool seeing so many more people, like, even like after the block party, like I go to BP maybe 6 months after, and then I see who's this Arid Chase guy, and now like I don't see a top 3 without either of them on there. So like that's really cool. Like the saga of Lasagna Viking finding out about the Tekken scene because Brittany wore a shirt one time at Combo Breaker was always been really fun to me. And the fact that, you know, even if it's small part, like the fact that I could even like lend a tiny hand to that to make that grow is just like, oh man, we helped do it. We done did it, guys. That's sick.